Most creators don't dream of hitting 6 figures a month. But what if I told you one of our creators went from being stuck at $30,000 per month to $110,000 per month in less than 60 days? And today I'm going to show you exactly how. And the jump wasn't gradual, it was explosive. In less than 60 days, she went from plateau to breakthrough. Let's have a look at these statements. These are the statements of the creator I'm talking about. You can see overall what she's made all time. And importantly, you can see how this journey started. So she started in around January, February, making around 1.1K a month, right? And then around March, she exploded because she was taking content creation very seriously. Now, the problem is, this could be made way more. As you can see, the chatting was barely touching the subscriptions. It was almost the same, right? And that's how you know the account could be optimized way, way more. And it was kind of stuck here, a little bit more, a little bit less over the next few months, kind of the same situation. And around late June, we got together. We started working with July having a real kickoff. And in July, we completely changed the situation. You can see the messages went up a lot. The subscriptions were a much lower amount comparatively, right? So we created law messages revenue. So it was more than double in 1 month. And in August, we hit 112,000. Now we are in September, so this is still going. There's going to be plenty filling out here. But in just 60 days, we went up to 112K already here. And so my name is Lars. I'm the co-founder of Wonder Management. We're the agency behind some of the fastest scaling OnlyFans creators in Europe. And our mission is simple. We find great creators, we remove the bottlenecks, and engineer 6-figure months. And so if you're a creator who feels stuck, even if you're already successful at some specific number, keep watching. Because what I'm about to show you isn't theory. It is exactly the steps and the systems on how we scale this creator. And at the end of this video, I will show you how we can make it happen also for you. From here, we're going to go deep into the details of every single step. So I have prepared a very large flowchart that we're going to go through, and even a little nice addition at the end to show if this also fits for you and if also we could do it for you. But let's get to these systems exactly. So inherently, this was a creator who we took from $30,000 a month to more than 100,000, 110,000 in 60 days. So I'm going to show you every single step, explain. Let's go quickly just to understand the numbers again. Before Wonder, we were at around $33,000 that this creator was making net. That was in June. Then after the first 30 days with Wonder in July, we were at $77,000 already. And after 60 days, by the end of August, we were at $112,000 made on this account. You can see the progression is very, very clear here. And let's figure out how it all looked before we stepped in. Because before I go into the systems, I want to explain what the situation was like, because this could be your situation and they will be different for each one, right? For each creator, we will be maybe adjusting different things. But let's understand this scenario over here, right? And so first of all, this is a Finnish creator that we're working with. We had to understand what's going on with the account. So we had 2 TikTok accounts. One of them was in English and one of them was in Finnish. Now, these TikTok accounts were getting nice views, right? 160,000 here, 194,000 here, 1 million here. 86, some smaller ones, but plenty, 18K, 43K. Now, these are 2 different audiences, right? So 2 different languages. Also, there are 2 YouTube accounts. One is in English, one is in Finnish, right? And just getting nice views here. Now, on YouTube, you do get usually less videos than on the short format platforms, but these are awesome also. These really build personality. Those are great. And 1 Instagram account, which was a mix of English and Finnish. Now, I'm blurring out the specific pictures of the creator here, but we're going to go through every step that we did, right? And so the posting was very random. It was a very unclear feed in the beginning as it was getting views, right? So there's a lot of potential here, but I realized we really need to introduce a little bit more structure here. And you can see the posts were getting 600 likes here, 2,800 likes here, good engagement, right? So all the signs were there that this is great content, that people like this content inherently, right? But a lot of it in Finnish, right? And roughly speaking, just to think about like in OnlyFans, what matters is that 90% of income comes from English audiences. That's US, UK, Australia, Canada. We really like to focus on the US and Canada audience, but generally all of this is what actually makes the spend. So if you're focusing on a small country, like you could scale, right? It can work and you can have your own niche, but inherently if you want to win big, this is where you need to be working at. And so we were in the situation that there were two audiences and we had to prioritize. Obviously, that means we're prioritizing looking how we can get the English-speaking audiences. So that's on the social media side. That's just the general overview, right? Then let's have a look at OnlyFans. What was wrong? What was going on here? So let's just start at the bottom. For example, no notes about subscribers. So we use a CRM, obviously Inflow, one of the biggest ones, and we take a lot of notes. But in this case, it was pretty empty here. Then new subscribers were reliant on viral videos here and there. So what you can see here in April, for example, there's a nice spike here around this time, but a lot of this is empty, right? So clearly the creator went viral, but that's not sustaining. Then chatting revenue is not more than subscription revenue, which we already saw, right? So 17K here, 14K here, 16, so very similar, right? So obviously you want your message revenue over time to be much more than your subscription revenue. The audience was heavily Finnish based. So first place is Finland. Then we got US, UK, because we're also making content. This creator is making content already in English, but first place is still Finnish. And full explicit content is being sold for low prices, right? So we got $10 here, we got $15 here, we got $45 here, but we really should be sending these images, these videos for much more money. And then the vault was disorganized. So there was some organization here, which is nice, but for tracking purposes, you really want to be building this out much more over time. And top subscribers were spending little money. So the top subscriber we have is 390, 327, let's see, 220. This is in April, for example. But these are pretty long subscription lines, right? So the top subscribers spent roughly $100 per month, which is something that we can get probably in a few messages. So something was really clearly to investigate here. And chatting in Finnish, mostly not in English, right? So great, it works niche, but if you want to go bigger, we really want to work on that English here. So that's the overall view. That's what was happening, roughly speaking, up until June, and where we realized, okay, this is very interesting. There's things to do here. But what we have right now is peak creativity and little leverage and amazing ideas, but little focused, right? So we're kind of spread in different directions. And from first principles, we're not tackling the things that actually make money and how to make money, how to have great sales processes and everything. And so it's kind of this feeling, right? I'm doing everything. Why are the numbers not going up? And it's not even wrong, right? But the numbers still are not going up. So what was already good? This was a really talented creator, like really talented creator, producing funny, engaging, and highly entertaining content. On the content side, the base of it was incredible. Like, we love watching the content. It's funny. It's awesome. Like, awesome. Clearly, the audience resonates. What we needed to improve, we already saw, is that we needed to develop and implement clear and repeatable systems so that we don't have those one-off spikes and then they disappear. We needed to strengthen distribution strategies to maximize reach, right? So how can we take the content that's already there and post a lot more, right? Just to get more views. And then establish and optimize input the chatting team, right? So we see that revenue of subscriptions and chats is roughly the same. We want to increase that a lot. So this was the clear diagnosis, what needs to be improved. Now, then we break this down into several layers, right? So first, implement clear and repeatable systems, distribute content the right way, and input chatting and sales team. So we're going to go step by step, right? So inherently, once we start with any creator, we need to do an onboarding. So first of all, we're going to have a sales and social media questionnaire that we need to fill out, which is an Airtable form that we use so we can gather information about this creator, right? So anything that we do, we have a line, we have the baseline of what's going on, right? So we gather some personal details, some languages, favorite communication styles, nicknames, everything, beliefs, everything. So we really understand this creator because while we've gotten to know each other a little bit, we're missing a lot of details to make sure we can do our job well and just really understand them. And same thing for social media. We want to make sure we gather all the accounts because we want to make sure that when we're working on an Instagram account, there's not some Reddit account that's posting something different. So we're kind of like fighting between those accounts, right? We need a unified strategy for which we need to make sure we understand exactly what accounts we're using. So first of all, we have every creator fill that out. Then we go to a first call. Then we have an onboarding handbook here, which is quite in depth. And I'm just going to quickly scroll through. This is probably going to be the point of some other videos, but we show exactly what our communications look like. We show how Google Drive navigation works. We show what settings we need to make sure so the content works really well. A lot of creators mess up here with like having HDR on when you don't want that messing up some of your videos and edits when uploading, things like that. There's a lot of small things that really make work a lot easier, basically. Even things like the camera formats, high efficiency versus most compatible, workflows become so much easier with most compatible, right? And then Meta Business Suite is something that we use to connect to our creators so we can see the analytics. For some creators, we have access to their accounts, some we don't, but what's important is that we can just see the analytics. And that's what Meta allows you to do through Meta Business Suite. So from there, what happens is just after this call, this is, for example, one of the messages that we sent. We make sure we have really clear and structured messages so they know exactly what they're doing. So they're filling out the onboarding documents, sending the login details. They have access to Google Drive. Obviously, I'm taking out all the links here, so you don't go and click these. And onboarding handbooks, Google Drives, everything, right? Then we do the OnlyFans workshop where we go through the OnlyFans content strategy. Obviously, we do sequences, right? These might be called drip sets for others or bundles or things like that. Picture sets, long form videos, short form videos, text and voice messages. So that's all in here. We'll probably cover more in a different video, but inherently after this, we give them a very, very clear understanding of what content needs to be produced, what cover photos we need. We need to create next, also following up already on some of the previous ones on how we're going to do trial reels, scheduling a content call with our creative director, recurring weekly meeting, right? So that's always scheduled in the calendar for us, for the creator. So there's never any mistakes about, oh, we were supposed to call then, we were supposed to. No, it's super clear. Everyone knows exactly when these meetings are happening, and we're always on time for them, both us and the client. And then a content strategy call where we go through different verticals. So we have a whole Google Drive folder of those. Those might be podcast verticals, those might be skits, those might be dancing videos, different things for different creators, right? So we have our baseline of verticals, but also we might figure out some custom ones, as we also did in this case. So that's just the onboarding, right? We want to make sure everything's in tip-top shape. We have all the information and the creator know exactly what they need to do. Then we need to make sure we optimize. So here, first of all, we go through Instagram. We have an account optimization file that we use. So we use it for how to manage the reels, what the main grid should look like, what pin post we should have, in what sequence they should have, right? So this is a large file that we go through, and it's a template, right? We work from a system that we can give to every single creator here. And based on this, we made some changes to the creator, profile pictures, pin posts, descriptions, new links, all of that was fixed up on Instagram. And then on OnlyFans, same thing that goes under here. We do optimization of the banner so it looks better. We do often the profile picture, right? Make sure they're really fit, and you can really track the conversion of these over time. We input text. That's something that we often change. And we make sure that all the settings on the account are done well to really maximize conversion. For example, these are the exact settings that we use. And for example, if you show fans account, you might have a lot of fans, low fans. You might have a few paid fans, but they're very valuable. But that might look like you're a small account to people subscribing, right? So you really have to think about the psychology of what people look at, basically. And so there's obviously more settings that we go through, but that's just a quick peek at the ones to really make sure we are optimizing this account for conversion, right? Because even if you make the traffic, you can just lose out on the conversion. No one subscribes because your content doesn't make sense from the front, right? Before even anyone's got to any chats or something like that. Then we organize. So we gather all the accounts in one place. So we make sure we have a list, and the creators might be having so many different accounts, right? We focus on Instagram and TikTok. That's the most important thing. Someone might have Instagram backups, Telegrams, YouTube, Snapchats, all kinds of things. So what's important to us is just to know exactly what we're dealing with, so we can figure out what are we working with, right? Do we need to reorganize something? How do we funnel the traffic to the main sources, which is Instagram, because from there we go to OnlyFans. So we want to make this really clear. So it's super important we understand all the accounts. And then we create creator accesses. So we manage everything in Google Drive. So it's super clear. We have a standardized profile, essentially set up for everyone. So handbooks with strategies that we already discussed on this side, OF content uploading, OnlyFans content examples, individual videos, everything covered in here. We create the chatter access on the other end. So basically we can make sure the organization of the files is done really well and according to how we need the chatters to access it. And that's done on the back end, right? So front end and back end. And then for the larger creators, we also use scorecards in a tool called 90. So 90 is a platform where you can manage companies, but also creators. So we create scorecards so we know exactly how many videos have been posted, how many views did this get, Instagram reel, number of OF subscribers, number of revenue, all of that, right? So we can track it week by week and we can really see what's green, what's red, where are we performing, where are we underperforming, and we can track those stats over time and then create a tracking sheet so we know exactly what we're posting then. So we don't want people having question marks as to, oh, am I supposed to be posting this or are we doing something different now? Am I experimenting something? We figure out clear verticals and we know exactly when we're posting that. So we have a schedule that we can follow. So it's predictable. So that's the clear and repeatable systems that we need to implement, right? So oftentimes it's not even a lot, it's just organizing the baseline. Obviously there's a lot of steps. I'll go more in different videos about how we take each of these exact steps, but the organization is repeatable and is super clear, and that gives the structure to the creator so she knows exactly what and when she needs to do. Then from there, let's talk about distributing the content, right? So we're going through the things we need to improve over here. So first of all, let's start with also a little bit of theory, right? So we really prioritize building strong verticals, so repeatable formats that deliver. And so we make sure that these aren't these one-off posts as we saw here, right? So for example, we had this like spike here and then we're back to zero, right? We need to make sure that's actually predictable. These are tested frameworks to make sure your output's consistent, you streamline your workflow, and your lasting momentum is being generated. And at the same time, we keep space for experimentation. That's important. So we can ride relevant trends as they emerge, we can test new or evolving verticals, and we can always bring in fresh ideas from leading creators also in your niche, right? And so we're not chasing reinvention every day, right? That's what happens when you're a creative, you're running in every direction, you're not sure why. Like we're focused on scaling, on finding the keys to scale, right? That's why we take strong content and either reuse it directly or refine it for another route. And when we create, we design with reusability in mind. A single strong piece of content can easily multiply 2 to 4x through smart reposting strategies also. And the breakdown of this is we use try-overs a lot. So we give top performing reels another chance, either by reposting them as is sometimes, or adjusting elements like hooks, pacing, caption, sound. That's one of the fastest growing levers. No extra shoots required. Trial reels are like a whole nother algorithm that you can leverage to really gain oftentimes even 2x views. Then feed reposts. So for example, high performing videos can get another slot on your feed after, for example, 2 months. And only the best videos make the cut, right? So you don't want to overuse your content. This should be less than 10% of whatever you're posting, probably even less. So your audience gets to re-experience what worked and fresh viewers discover it for the first time. What often people miss is when you have a great content piece, there's a reason people liked it. And if they liked it once, they probably like it again. And there's plenty of people on this world who never saw it. So they have another opportunity to see it again. And also platform cross-posting, right? So carousels can be divided into separate posts, also on threads with a few days in between. Reels can be reposted threads or even TikTok, provided as long as TikTok fits the content guidelines. The rule is inherently simple. If a content piece worked once, it likely works again and again. And so you keep using until the performance drops off. And with streamlined content management, these approaches alone can easily 4x your reach with no extra filming or editing needed on your end. And so let's have a look at the numbers of what this means, right? So inherently, you post more, earn more, but only if the quality is good, which is super important, right? A lot of people can post a lot of trash content that's not going to do anything, right? You need great content and then see how we can leverage that more. And of course, you want to do this in English. If you want to get a US audience, make sure you use content that US people can understand. That doesn't necessarily mean you need to talk, but look at the trends, look at the language, look at the captions. But talking obviously is also very, very powerful. So generally, just a couple examples, right, of how we can post. So for example, this between June 7th, July 4th, you can see 225 posts, and this is a creator making 143 million views in that time, right? We can have a creator posting 199 times, and that's 24.2 million views right there. And so if you post once a week, you will always lose to our creators who are posting several times a day. For example, this creator 79, 113. The champions are posting more than 200 times a month, right? And so think about this. Treat it as a thought experiment. If you post once a week, but I post 100 times a week, who do you think will get more views, right? Like, is it you with one video? Or take it further, if I posted 100,000 times a week, maybe even across different accounts, right? Like, who would win? The person with more or less, right? Now, you might need a team there of editors, but I think the answer is pretty clear, right? Obviously, the person who does more will make more as long as the quality is good, and that's important. And so you need the team, right? So while you might have posted a content piece once, we maybe created 22 unique content pieces to launch across Reels and trial Reels. So our editing team has a meeting every single day. They know what's going on current editing tasks, schedules, reminders to watch the full video, right? Making sure we have updated end of day reports, addressing concerns that about influencers' content so we can give feedback, what kind of feedback we need to give, what tasks everyone is doing, right? So then, for example, we can send in at the end of the day, later the editor can send in the edited content. So for example, just from one content piece, we created 20 new content pieces, right? So it's put in. Here, the creator can download it and start posting it. And in some cases, we're posting it for them also. And then the team of editors can learn from each other, because then we have different content pieces for different creators that we can use, and they can really evaluate it together, look at the quality, learn from each other, right? So even just one person editing even this one person editing cannot keep up with the team of editors, right? And we got some funny editors here, but there's no chance you can keep up with a team that's basically doing this 24/7 and just getting better and better continuously over time, right? Then you need the clear structure, obviously. So we have a clear SOP and clear structures on how to do this uploading, so it's happening in an organized way. But inherently, you upload content, enters will edit, you will see feedback and give feedback, you'll implement, and we'll repeat this process, right? So this is something that's basically happening on a daily basis, depending on what content types we have. Some creators might be batching the content, so then we just batch, for example, one time a week, a lot, and then we edit it all and give it to the creator. Some creators might be sending in content daily. Generally, we prefer the daily approach, but we can work in different ways, and we just need to make sure we have a streamlined structure that we have over here. And then scheduling. We have a couple options. So one of them is literally post for you. So we have phones at the office in Europe, proper iPhones with individual internet connections, not some outdated Android devices that could flag your account. So here's the literal phones we use for posting at this moment for some of our creators. And other creators want to post themselves, right? So what's important is scheduling, because you can then plan your time ahead, so you don't have to think about all the time. Trial Reels, though, can only be published directly, so you need to put that in your schedule then. And if you prepare drafts inside Instagram with finished content, when it's time to post, you can hit basically publish all at the same time. And on TikTok, you can't currently schedule, but you can save drafts, which makes posting then a lot easier. So there's different ways. We also love posting for our creators. Oftentimes, it's an individual choice that a creator has, what they want to do, and we can work with both options. And the result is, if we're looking at the views here on the Instagram account, in the 90 days, so in roughly speaking, previous 90 days, we had about 38 million views. And now 30 days, not even, we're achieving 19 million views. So let's do some math. So first 60 days, right? So let's take away these last 30 days. We have 19 million views over the time period. That's 9.64 million views. And in the last 30 days, we have 19. So 60 days, 30 days, which means that posting became 100 times more effective, and the creator basically had to do nothing in this case, as we were also doing the posting. And that consistency accumulates over time, leading to an even bigger increase, right? Because if you just keep doing it, the platform keeps rewarding you as it feeds its great content. Your fans are interested, right? So it just keeps growing over time. And so even if nothing else changed, like we created 2x the views, thus roughly speaking, we would create 2 times the revenue just from this, right? So obviously we implement chatting on top, things like that, but just I'm even like I'm just here, right? We're gonna talk more, but this is already basically 2x the increase over here that we have. And then let's have a look at inputting our chatting / sales team. And this is a critical part. And this is a part that a lot of agencies get wrong, because they might have some candidates they found somewhere, maybe on some job board, right? And they maybe interviewed them, and this one sounds interesting, this one sounds promising, this and that, right? And that works maybe to some small extent, maybe with when you have 1 or 2 clients, you can do that. But when you're running at this scale, you need to have a 24/7 hiring process that's always refining for new talent, right? So we have hundreds of applications that reach out monthly, and while the other agencies are looking on their job board, and maybe their job posting even got banned, so they don't know how to find a new chatter. So they have to keep the bad chatter that they have, because they don't even have a new good chatter to replace him, or even a new bad chatter to replace him, right? So they're stuck in this loop, basically. they might be trying to find these couple of applicants, maybe on some Telegram groups even, right? Hoping to get lucky. We run a large advertising campaign and we find the best of the best. And this leads to a self-improving system of us finding better and better talent over time, right? And so basically we approach it like this is we bring in talent all the time and continuously we look at who's the bottom 10% and we kick out the bottom 10%. Because if that's a bad salesperson, it's not even good for them that they're working for us or working on these accounts, right? They're not fulfilling their own potential. So we are constantly looking for people to put in where this is a vehicle for them to fulfill their sales potential. So you can see this is an Airtable database that we have from running ads. We're constantly collecting applications. So you can see these are all on the 9th, these are all on the 10th. So even just this database has been cleared many times because we get so many. Even here, we literally have 1,600 applicants just in this database. So I'm blurring these names, but different ages, everything with different experiences, checking for English levels. Have they had Onlyfans chatting experience already? How many years? What sales experience they have? What times a day they could work? CV, everything, right? So this is not just like, oh, I found this person who looks promising. This is a system with thousands of people that have gone through the system with very clear criteria for selection, very strong selection process, and it runs and it keeps improving over and over again. So once that is done, we get into intense training, and we have built our own chatting academy to develop our sales talent. And we'll cover that more in depth in another video. Just here, we have one of the PDFs here. That's the baseline chatting academy that offers core principles, make the offer so good they'd feel stupid say no, and plenty more sales principles. We're not going to go super in depth today. I'm just going to show you the results of these principles. Then 24/7 quality control. So first of all, each chatter is checked several times per week on randomly chosen conversations by the overseer and evaluated one by one, right? So they can't target specific conversations. Always like the chatter doesn't know which conversation will be checked. At random, they will be checked and seen if they follow the procedures we need. And all chatters share their screen during the entire shift, and overseers monitor the entire shift for any mistakes, right? So it literally looks like this. The streams are available to watch. This is one row of them. So imagine literally like this. When you see those like underground command centers with lots of screens on the walls, like this is literally how our overseers work. The quality control looks basically over all the salespeople's desktops and checking what they're doing. Then we have like specific Q&A sheets, right? So for example, here's an example of a conversation. Just check the subscriber's name, the chatter's name, date of chat, username, scores, everything. So have they greeted the fan? Have they used the new subscriber file, the specific structure that they're supposed to follow? Are there any notes? Did they ask information about the subscriber? In this case, they should have asked more relevant questions, continue building the relationship. Did they transition from casual chatting to sales oriented? Did they get the sales? Is the response time good? Is the adaptability good? Are they complying with the rules, which is mandatory, right? So this gets checked for all the time, basically. And essentially every single mistake gets flagged and is sent for retraining or a penalty introduced if there are repeat mistakes, right? So every single time that a mistake is flagged here on the screens, it gets collected. And this could be a missed task, this could be a lack of relationship building, this could be some damage control that needs to be done, something could be misleading, something could be rude. Like that's gonna happen, right? You can't ignore these things because there are literally at any given time in our agency tens of thousands of conversations, like different possible conversations that could be happening. So we need to make sure we're keeping track on all of these, right? And there are notes for each one. So if the response time is high, we need to figure out what the person's struggling with. Maybe subscribers were not categorized correctly, right? And a lot of people might just pretend this doesn't happen, right? But this is a key part. Quality control is a key part. People will make mistakes, but you need to introduce systems to make sure they make them less and less and they keep growing. And there are screenshots taken of every single time when that happens. And most of the times there's no specific penalty. It's a small thing. It gets sent retraining. But even here in this case, I wanted to highlight like some things can be terminated. For some reasons, people will get terminated, right? So for example, we're now reading the other chat's endorsement. Responses were now aligning with what the fan was looking for and burned a whale asking for tips. This chatter, if they made these mistakes, they get terminated, right? So in a lot of agencies, you might have the issue that they have a few chatters, they can't get more. So even when mistakes are made, they kind of just have to go with it, and it's fine, it's fine. But really, you need to have a system so even when someone's terminated, someone replaces their seat, and someone's already next ready to go, trained already, sitting on the bench ready, right? So you can't wish it away. You need to make sure these systems are in place, and that's what we do. We have the whole backend prepared for that. So from there, also, we have specific reporting structures that need to be in place that are also tracked and seen if people are responding on time. So again, the overseer monitoring everything, also the chatting team lead importantly monitoring the overseers also. So everyone who comes in has a start of shift report. So all chairs are monitored for timely attendance on shifts, and each chair also sends a report following a shift start checklist, right? So are they logging in early? Are they checking the social media? Have they read the previous report? Are they checking the profile for wall posts that were posted? Opening flowcharts, opening cheat sheet, everything in place, right? So this is a checklist, and in a lot of times people kind of just improvise, but our goal is not to keep improvising all the time. Our goal, as we talk about everything here, is to build a repeatable machine. And it's like airplane pilots. They have a checklist. They don't make mistakes, right? They just follow, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, basically, right? And if you made a mistake, it's super easy to check exactly which part, and either you train, or if you cannot keep up, then you're out, basically. Then end of shift reports, right? So each hour also submits an end of day report with sales and notes to the team lead. So the shift report, agent name, what inboxes they're working for, what creators, because you might have several inboxes for a creator. Obviously, for this creator, we have 2 inboxes. When the traffic's so much, we can have initially like 3 shifts, just have 24/7, but you can double that, you can even triple that, quadruple that, right? So on larger accounts, you need more creators. For this specific account, we have 2 inboxes, all the sales that they've done, all the upsells that they've done, so we can see. And also the new subscribers, resubscribers, total sales, what went well, what went wrong, report observations, what other tasks they did. Like this all has to be noted. So you can see the sales team lead can check all these reports and see exactly what happened in each ship. Then once the EOD report is submitted, they also write an endorsement in a different hub, which tells the next shift which subscriber to pay extra attention to, right? So what fans were scrubbed, what needs to be done with these, keep relationship building, build sell, where there are broken sequences, if there's high traffic, if there are any struggles, right? So everything is tracked in the creators hub, so you can always check every single shift what happened to that creator, any occurrences. And the shift of the chatters is quality control by an overseer who also submits a daily report to the chatting team lead, right? So checking the attendance, that there's no late and absences, the checklists are sent, mass message rules, monitoring, year-to-date reporting, posted stories that need to be posted, replying to messages, quarter one stats. So we divide the shift into several quarters. So even like a whole shift can't go by with a mistake, right? Because that's 8 hours. So we divide them into several segments. So we track and we send it to the chatters so they see how they are doing, basically hour by hour. And if they're slacking, we will catch that by the hour, right? Not like a week later, not a day later. We will catch it hour by hour, basically, right? Which means like our team works really well. Like they know exactly what they need to do, what targets they need to hit, what they need to work on, right? So it's a system where salespeople with high accountability, they thrive, right? So people with low accountability don't thrive in this system, and that's great because those are the people we're trying to weed out. But really high performers, this is great for them. And so this makes for sharks, right? So this leads to our best chatters on over 100K in sales individually over the last year, right? So here's several chatters who have each sold over $100,000 during their shifts, right? Sales attributed to them. So this is not some, random job board or friend or something like came and like did some sales. No, like this is a machine with highly talented people. And again, like think about this. How will we make more money? Alone or with the team of trained salespeople who have sold hundreds of thousands of dollars of content? Same thing here, right? Again, one person kind of doing some chats, or do you have literally a sales team? Who's going to get more sales? It's I think quite obvious that the team is going to get more sales pretty much always. And as we go through, of course, there's specific steps systematic that we want to take. So, for example, account optimization. So the day we introduce better pricing strategy for promotions, subscriber numbers increase from low 10s to 100 daily. So we need to make a clear offer, like a really good offer, and for subscriptions and resubscriptions. And then basically you can see in the last 90 days, looking over here, the moment the day we introduced, subscriber numbers just went up completely, right? So we opened the aperture to work with a lot more people, and that did not impact the revenue here specifically, right? Because again, the subscription kind of case stays stable. That's the goal, and then from there, the chats revenue is where we really bring it up over time. We optimize the welcome message. So there's a very simple welcome message here in the beginning, but we made it much better. We also created essentially engagement hooks to engage, so people get free things if they engage, which helps the statistics on the account and gets more subscribers. So the welcome message alone increases engagement massively. Then proper organized sequences, so data can be gathered on which sequences perform the best. So before we had some organization here already, but you make sure everything's cleanly organized numbers, so you can actually track the data number by number later. And properly organized subscriber list by spend and geography. The key thing here is that the top 3 subscribers from the USA and Canada make up 70% of the revenue, right? We already talked like these countries, USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, that's like 80%. But even just the top 3%, the power users, the whales, whatever you want to call them, they make up 70% of the revenue of the platform, roughly speaking. So you need to know who's in Europe, who's in USA, Canada, who's in the rest of the world, where's new subscribers, where's the relationship builders. And there are more lists, not all of them fit just in here, and some of our secret sauce and some of these other lists also here. But key categorization is important. So, where do you need to send mass messages? Where do you need to sell sequences? Where do you need to spend more time on relationship building, right? And let's look at these results at the end of that. So previously, messages and tips made only as much as subscriptions. It's the same thing we were looking at in the beginning. Subscription 16,000, messages 17,000. Now messages and tips make 4 times more than subscriptions, and even subscription revenue alone went up by 25%, right? Just even with these optimizations. But messages is really where the big money came in, obviously, from there. And as the results are, our chars know how to effectively upsell one content piece after another, often generating hundreds of thousands of dollars from one subscriber in 30 minutes. So for example, here, 1530, 5929, that happened in less than an hour, 35, 65, 135, 170, again, less than an hour here, right? So what you see is that before subscribers took 3 months to spend $300, now they do it in 3 days. So for example, here, the subscriber, 3 months, $300 bucks spent, roughly speaking. So these are the top subscribers, right? So that's about $100 per month. Where we went to now is I tried to find the most similar example. It is even better, but here, 300 and 3 days. So it went from $100 in a month to $100 in a day. And then obviously we built bigger ones also on top here. Like, just think about that difference. Like, that is a 30 times faster to accrue the spend, basically, right? That's what a trained sales team can do, right? That makes the massive difference of one person working alone, where this is the top of the list, and then later it's not even top of the list anymore. And so we increased the chatting revenue by 60,000 in 60 days. So that means every single day we added $1,000 of chatting revenue on top, which is amazing, right? That is what a trained team gets you. $1,000 added every single day as it goes along. So that is pretty much wrapping up the case of what we did here, right? So remember, we went through in the beginning, we had social media issues, we have Onlyfans issues. We pretty much put them into the system, right? Give them the structure to actually work with to succeed. From there, we distribute the content the right way. So we fix the social media. We focus on a specific language, on specific accounts. We get the editing out, and we just increase the amount of content that we can do for the creator. And then on the OnlyFans side, we input the chatting, and really, like, we go from doing things not in months, but doing things in days, increasing the speed and spend much, much more rapidly. Now, for each creator that we bring in, the points will be different, right? So just in this case, we're focusing, the biggest unlock was implementing chatting, right? Like doing it well, basically, and doing effective sales to subscribers. The subscribers wanted to buy the content, they just weren't sold it effectively, right? So we unlocked so much value there. And obviously gains on content and everything, but each one has like those specific win points. And in this case, that was really the sales team getting added and running the account, actually. For others, it might be content unlocks, right? For their creators, it's really the content unlock that makes the biggest difference. And we'll investigate different cases over time. But here, chatting was clearly the biggest unlock with making these massive gains literally every single day, right? So there's most OnlyFans creators don't even make $1,000 a month. We're adding $1,000 on top every single day, basically over here. So that's the case. Now, I want to show you also how that relates to you, right? So all of this. And I want to show why this worked for this creator, right? Because this is explosive growth. This is what everyone wants, right? So we look at it from the point of our core values as a company. And we have 5. We look at content first, grow or die, own it, be an example, and be smart. These are specific values that we look at our team, we look at our creators, we look at our managers, creative directors, editors, everyone. This is how we value people, right? And from this perspective, I want to show why this works with this creator. So from our side and from the creator side, because it's like a dance, it's a symbiosis, it has to be both, right? You need to have alignment for this to work really well. And so on our side, content first, amplifying the output. So the most important part of job, amplify the output the creator can achieve, and add our creative director, our editors, right? So even here, just every single day we can send the smoothie content is done, the theme delicacies done, Insta360 done, podcast wrap done, everything's done. Like here, bam, 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 bam. Here's content, go post, give us some feedback, do everything, right? On the creator side, she was a creator first. Like even before we came in, she had been posting daily on one account or another. She had several, but she was not a wannabe OF model. She was a true creator. So even this account has already 210 posts, and some were cleared. We cleared out a lot to make everything much more cohesive. But she was a content creator first, because a lot of people have this idea that you're just going to join OF and I'm going to make sexy content, I'm going to make money. No, the goal is you have to be a social media creator, right? And this person truly was that. This person was truly that. And we could take that with the next level with our team and systems. Grow or die, which is the, the crazy one, it sounds, right? But you need to make sure that you're growing in these scenarios, because every day you confront something new in life. And so on our side, it means solving the creator's unique scenario. So we introduced new verticals based on her being a Finnish culture-oriented creator. So we created, some of these are new, right? So words of the day, songs, things like that. Not necessarily what we had done for other creators, but it really worked here. And we were going for the reverse influencer because of her humor, basically, and character. And from the other side, from the creator, it's either you keep experimenting, other creators overtake you, right? So she was willing to follow our lead on content strategy, keep the core of what you're doing already, and introduce new verticals that build on top of her strengths, right? So she was getting views already, but she was open to experimenting and seeing if we can make this grow even more, which we obviously did. Owning it really means like you own your role and you don't have the responsibility. So for us, that's fixing systems where they're break. And initially, some of the edits created didn't fit the creator standards, and we had to do team improvements and replacements to improve the output, right? And also for this, again, we have a massive recruitment operation going on in the backend. So even just here, just per the editors, like 266 applications right here. There's more below, more on top, right? So we're looking at how long they've been editors, what kind of um, um, softwares they know to use, how do they rank their English, can they work full-time, part-time, submit their portfolios, right? So you need to, again, here, even short form editing is a fairly new thing. So it comes that a lot of people that we take on, we really do need to train ourselves, right? And so some people will fail. That's normal. We have to replace them in the team. We need to keep a good standard. And it's an ongoing process. It's a self-improvement system that basically gets better. Like if you watch this video 1 year from now, the team has just gone so much better because we refine. We've taken out the bottom and the top. We let them thrive, basically. And so you already have hundreds going through here, and over time we'll collect thousands more. And we offer essentially cool positions for them to work, but we have to teach them all. And that's something we own on our side, right? And for the creators, there's no excuses in content making, right? Creators who don't grow will always find some reason why they can't make their content. Winners win their role, and then make it whatever the circumstances happen, right? So you see, like these graphs, they always go up and down a little bit, but they're always good, right? This is the new subscribers one. They're always coming in, right? Because the creator stays consistent, and they really make sure to get it done. then being an example. For us, it's basically being ready 24/7. Now we always align with the creators, like what times are we working? We're prioritizing European creators right now. So really making sure we can align those time schedules as much as possible. But there were times when the creator could only do a workshop on a Saturday, and we made it happen, right? So we're really here to help our creators. We help them with their schedules and everything, but sometimes you need to get it done, and you get it done, right? And so see here again, even with the revenue, we don't have like Saturday dips, right? It always goes up and down a little bit, right? But we need to be ready, and on their end, that they need to show up even on the tough days. So even though there are days when the world throws everything at you, she would show up and she would get some content out. And people who are examples, they aren't always perfect, but they just show up. Same thing here, right? They just show up. And being smart. For us, it means clear instructions are delivered, so the creator doesn't have to guess what she has to do. And this is an acronym which stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time constrained, right? So you can't give these roundabout instructions. You need to be clear about what's being communicated. For us, that means if we have a meeting, for example, afterwards we'll send out, set up a call here, this link. Fill in this custom video here, update the custom request here, upload the sequence here. 30-minute voice memo here, right? So tomorrow's call is this time. We're going to do this and this and this. So there's no like tomorrow figure out maybe this or that's. Like, no, at this time we're doing this. You're uploading this. This is what's gonna happen. This is what you need to do, right? And there's reminders that we send. It has to be clear. That's super important for us. Being smart is important. And on the creator, being smart means that she could give us feedback that's needed to improve the content that fits her vision and doesn't leave us guessing, right? So they're often on the phone, so they're creating and something, but they need to give us content that might be voice memos, sometimes things like that. But they tell us that, you know, if something isn't clear, cut it away. You could add some cute text effects, things like that. Music should continue here, cut away here, right? That's important for us to know, because if the creator doesn't give us their feedback, and we'll take it in different ways, but if we don't have it, it's hard for us to improve, right? And so it only works when you communicate well, and you can actually be smart with each other and really share. And importantly, not all creators will blow up on day one, right? The ground was set here with existing strong content verticals. And for some clients, it will take 3 months of consistency until the videos they output are refined enough so that they go from 10K to 10 million views overnight, right? So overnight success is like, again, people always think this, right? Here, it's just bam, it just goes up like straight line. In reality, what actually happens for most creators, it goes up a little bit because they have this initial effort, then it goes down and they're bummed out. Oh, like it's not working. I need to change something again. No, you need consistency. And at some point it goes up again, and there's the second effort. Okay, maybe this time I'll make it, and then it goes down again. And then after a while, and this could be a week. In this case, this was literally next day, basically, right? Because everything was so prepared. But for some creators, this might take a week. For some creators, this might literally take 3 months of consistency. There are creators who have put in the work for 90 days with seemingly nothing happening, and where we have to just work with the person, keep motivating them, keep giving them clear instructions, next things to try. It just hasn't hit yet. But then, bam, here, maybe around day 90, goes up. Just goes up and explodes, right? And the biggest issue is not sticking to it, right? Really not sticking to it is the reason why most people fail. If you do anything long enough, you will succeed. No, you need the system, right? We provide that system. And so the day on which this happens will be different. In this case, it was just explosive, as we've seen here, immediately. But our system works, and our system works for creators in different places. That might be chiming that needs to be fixed. That might be content. It's a full package, and we're going to fix it. And so it's just important people have this mindset, and you don't give up. As a creator, you just don't give. You cannot give up, right? That the reason your competitors lose is they just give up, right? As long as you don't give up, you stick to the system, you are going to win, and that's what we will provide to you. And if you've gone through this, and this is all interesting, right? Like everything here, and we can go more in depth later, but this is all what we can provide for you. Can we do this for you? First of all, it's important to understand, like, not for everyone, right? We're looking for a specific type of people to work with. And this is not for you. This is definitely not for you. If you are impatient, if you're not willing to make several posts per day on Instagram and TikTok, if you blame others or the algorithm, or you're just a complete beginner on Instagram, right? Like, these are not people that we work with at this stage in the business. We're looking for awesome creators to partner up who know what they're doing is good, and we can see the potential, and we want to take them to the next level, basically, right? But if you are this, if you are an example, if you own it, if you have content first, if you're creating awesome content and you know you're just stuck and you want to go further, then this is what we have for you. We guarantee that we will get you 500 new monthly paying subscribers in the first 5 months, or you won't pay us, right? And if we fail, we will pay you $5,000 on top. So in our case, we only get paid if you win. There's no hidden costs, there's no extra fees, things like that in our case. We win if you win. That's it. Like, that's our guarantee, right? So in the scenario you're at, we are ready to deliver. So if you like what you saw here, you can DM me the word growth on Instagram, and I have my Instagram listed here. So Instagram.com/Lars_Kalnins. Over there, you'll also see other links to websites, things like that. You can check out the vlogs from what we do, from my content productions, from some things with the team. The content that I produce already, I've been a content producer for many, many years, even before I started this agency with my partner. So you can find out a lot there. So overall, the question I pose is, if you're ready to do this, if you're ready to achieve results like this, if you're a serious creator, let's talk. We are so curious to take on more people interesting, looking for cool talent. So if this was interesting, let's make this also happen for you. And let's talk soon. And I really hope this was of value. Take away what you have from this. If you have any questions, reach out to me, write to me, right? We're going to be having more videos. This is just the first chapter. And I cannot wait to show more of what we're doing, how we're doing it, and just provide value to creators.